How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with the end of the year stuff. Yes, the end of the year stuff. This will be the first one going up. I'm going to do three end of the year videos this year. Last year I went apeshit, and I think I did like 8 or 10 of them. I do not have the time to do that anymore. I work a real job, and I have a life, and I do things. So apparently I didn't have a real job and I didn't have a life back then. Anyway, we're going to do a little bit of end of the year stuff. And like I said, I'm going to do 3 end of the year videos. And this is the first one. And this is the best, I don't want to say best bang for your buck. I want to say a combination of best bang for your buck and availability. I'm going to be doing, like I said, 3 of these. One is this one. Another one's going to be my best favorite beers I reviewed of the year, and this is all this video and that video are going to be the best beers I reviewed this or beers I have reviewed this year. It's not necessarily the ones I think are best bang for the buck or the best readily available beers. It's the ones I reviewed in the calendar year, so keep that in mind. And yeah, so I'm going to be doing this one. I'm going to be doing my best of it. I'm going to be doing my favorite breweries of the year. That one's a little hodgepodgey to where it's going to be a mixture of a couple other things. But you watch that review or video or whatever you want to call it, end of the year thing, and you listen to all that stuff. Go from there. So anyway, like I said, this is going to be a top 5. There's only going to be five on this one. So let's get started. And there'll be graphics around here and stuff. Hopefully, if I have the time. Anyway, let's see. So number 5, again, like I said, readily available and what I think is cheap for what you get. So this is my top 5. Epic Brewing's Little Brainless on Cherries. I've had Epic Brewing. I've had their Brainless on Cherries, quite a few different variants. It's usually a kind of a bomber bottle. Brew with typically a funky yeast and fruit and stuff like that. That beer in general is usually pretty good, especially with some age on it. This is a smaller ABV, canned version of that they did. And it's something I can find in and around my area. Take all that with a grain of salt. Again, this is the stuff I can get in my area. But I can get it in my area, and I can get it in a mix of sixer. I can get it in a 6-packs, cheap. It's just one of those beers that I could just chug the living crap out of it. It's got a nice tartness to it, nice fruitiness to it, and it's something I can drink all night long, and it's cheap, and it's good, and it's awesome. So yeah, that's the one kicking off the list at number 5. As far as number 4 goes, this one actually I fucking drank a ton of this year, and that is Wiseacre Brewing's Gotta Get Up to Get Down. It is a milk stout. I believe it's a coffee milk stout. I didn't write that on there, but I think it is. So if it is, it isn't. Don't beat me up too much. It's this can, a little can from Wiseacre Brewing. Wiseacre, I want to say North Carolina. I could be wrong. Yeah. That thing, for its size, I think it was like 4 and change, maybe low 5 ABV, and that thing was absolutely fantastic. I love that beer to no end. Drank a bunch of them this year. It was one of those ones where it was like, okay, I don't want to have this huge big barrel-aged stout. I don't want to have this huge kind of double IPA thing going on. Take a sip. So it's more like, okay, this is what I want to drink right now. I'd pick up a mix of sixer, throw a couple in there. I was good for the night. So that beer absolutely crushed it for me. This middle one, I drank a ton of this year. And it was a brewery that actually launched in my area not too long ago. So I only had it for maybe less than a third of the year. But once it hit and I had this one, I loved it. That's 2 Roads Honey Spot IPA. I don't know what it is about this beer. It's kind of like a wheat beer, had a baby with an IPA, and you throw a little honey and hops in there. Crushable to all hell. The thing I will have at my barbecues going into the new year. I just don't know what it was about that beer. It just spoke to me on so many levels and just absolutely was the go-to kind of, I could pick it up wherever I went. I'd be like, okay, I'm going here. I stop at like a little corner store. Boom, they have it. Be like, I go up here. Just kind of was there whenever I wanted it. It was always cheap. Came in a 6-pack. Came in 6-pack bottles or cans, so I could buy them either way. And it was always a mix of sixers. And it was always like, when I got a mix of sixers, it was always thrown in there. When I was trying to try new stuff or review new stuff, I'd throw one in there. Be like, I know I'm going to want one of these later. It just, man, that beer just did it for me. I know 2 Roads, I like a lot of their beers. Some of their stuff doesn't wow me to no end, but at the same time, it just did it. Did it for me. Loved it, chugged it. Awesome beer. If you can get it, obviously you can get any of these. I say check them out. number 2, and this is a cool one because this is a beer that went from a limited release to a more limited release to now where I can pull it off any shelf, anywhere I go. And, yeah, just kind of buy it and find it anywhere. And that is Stone's Chocovesa. It's kind of cool to see that kind of happen to a beer that you really, really enjoy. Chocovesa. Do you know what I mean? It is a beer that is like, you know, when it first came out, I got it, I reviewed it, I loved it. The second year it came out, which is last year, you couldn't really get it. And by last year, I mean 2 years ago, because it sold up on January 1st. You know what I mean? I couldn't really get it. It was more limited of release, but it went to 4-pack bottles then. And I was like, okay, I'll get it. But it just kind of didn't get distribution in my area. I was like, that sucks. But this year now, I think it might be in 6-pack bottles. It might have been 6-pack. Anyway, it's everywhere. I could still pick some up today and just go out there, and that beer is so good. Oh, it's so good. Actually, I think it tastes just as good as the original. I heard last year's wasn't as good. Again, what do I know? What do I hear? Who knows? But yeah, that beer was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, Stone, Chocovesa, and this is coming from a Stone cold, non-Stone apologist here. It's not my favorite brewery in the world, but that beer, absolute cash money. So if you haven't had it yet, go out and get it or watch my review. And last but not least, this is getting up there in money, okay? But I think it's well worth the money, and I always think it's one of the better beers you can get, bang for the buck, regardless of what it is, and that is Guten Carlus's Cuvée d'Empereur Bleu, or Emperor Blau. It's a Henta Anchor Brewery. They make Guten Carlus, and Guten Carlus comes out with a beer in February. Brewed in January, I believe, kegged in February, or bottled in February. I don't know. Anyway, actually, I think that's true. Anyway, it's one of my favorite. It's actually made some of my favorite lists in the past as far as just favorite in general. And while I did review it this year, I reviewed it aged side by side, and I love them. It didn't make the cut, but and I started thinking. I started being like, well, this beer is, you know, I can usually pick it up. I mean, again, grain of salt here. This is you. Who knows where you're going to find beers? I know I can pick this beer up relatively easily at a couple different places around me, so it's relatively easily attainable. But it's one of my favorite Belgians of all time. The 2016 I reviewed versus the 2012. There are both, I think it was even maybe an 11 I did, 16 versus 11. They're both fantastic in their own right. So that, for me, was the number one bang for your buck, readily available beers. Yeah, 5. Only doing 5. There could have been a bunch in here, but I, just want to narrow it to 5. Even though my best beers here is going to be 20, narrowing it down to 5. So I figured I'd just throw that out there and just say, yeah, these are beers that if you can get them, don't overlook them. I know a lot of us go out there and we kind of skip over the mix of 6 section, or there's like, oh, there's that beer over there. That's nothing. It's low ABV and it's by a brewery that puts out a bunch of other stuff. There's great beer out there to be found, regardless of whether it's super readily available or you have to wait 5 million years in line for it. So don't dismiss these beers. Go out there and try a bunch of different things. Enjoy beer in general. Don't pigeonhole yourself just to stuff that you can't get, and experience everything. So there you go. Hopefully you guys had these beers. If you didn't, go out and get them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed me reviewing this and doing this little 5 beer, little best bang your buck of readily available ditty. And hopefully you guys enjoyed 2016 and will enjoy 2017. Hope you're enjoying a beautiful beer right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.